Welcome back on this Monday. So glad that you're joining us as we have this opportunity to continue to look at 1 Corinthians 15. Remember, this is about the resurrection that God has promised. Paul is explaining it. It is the most thorough explanation we have on the resurrection, but yet it doesn't answer all of the questions. Here he answers a question, tries to answer a question that is actually fairly common to us as well. Let's begin looking at verses 35 through 41. But someone will ask, how are the dead raised? With what kind of body do they come? You foolish person. What you sow does not come to life unless it dies, and what you sow is not the body that is to be, but a bare kernel, perhaps of wheat or some other grain, but God gives it a body as he has chosen, and to each kind of seed its own body. For not all flesh is the same, but there is one kind for humans, another for animals, another for birds, another for fish. There are heavenly bodies and earthly bodies, but the glory of the heavenly is of one kind, and the glory of the earthly is of another. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars, for star differs from star in glory. This is a question, the question that I'm often asked, maybe you are as well. What will our bodies look like in heaven? What will they be like? Will they be like our earthly bodies, very similar, or if not the same, just maybe going back to when we were at our prime in our 20s or 30s? What will it be? And the Apostle Paul uses the analogy of a seed and says, what you plant in the ground is not what you get. What you plant in the ground is just the seed, but it becomes the whole plant. It will be made whole and complete as God intended it to be. So we have an idea, but not really. It's going to be different. That's one thing. And then verses 38 through 41 can kind of be a little bit confusing, I think. But really the key is 38. But God gives it a body as he has chosen, and to each kind of seed its own body. We will have our own body, but with the glory, the body that he has chosen as well. Again, I know that's a little bit confusing, but this is about all that it says. He goes on and talks about, gives examples of animals and of heavenly bodies. The heavenly will be different from the earthly. And the next section explains that even more. So let's continue with verse 42 through 49. So it is with the resurrection of the dead. What is sown is perishable. What is raised is imperishable. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body. There is also a spiritual body. Thus it is written, the first man, Adam, became a living being. The first Adam became a life-giving spirit. But it is not the spiritual that is first, but the natural, then the spiritual. The first man was from the earth, a man of dust. The second man is from heaven. As was the man of dust, so also are those who are of the dust. And as is the man of heaven, so also are those who are of heaven. Just as we have borne the image of the man of dust, we shall also bear the image of the man of heaven. A little confusing, again, I think we would say. He's saying that what is sown is our natural bodies, our bodies, earthly bodies that we live in now, and they will be raised to be the spiritual bodies, the body that God desires, the body that we will have in heaven. It is still a body. It is not just spirit. It is the body. And it will no longer be bound by sin. That's what it means by the spiritual body. The natural body is bound by sin and its earthly limitations. The spiritual body will not be bound by sin or earthly limitations as we know now. Then he uses some logic. Adam is the natural man. He came from dust. Christ is the spiritual man, and he is the heaven aspect of it, where we will go to live forever. Adam and Christ, the natural and the spiritual, dust and heaven. We all will, in a way, bear that image of Christ when we are with him. Our body will be like his glorious body. And I wish I could tell you more, but that's all that we're given. It is a body, but not like our physical body, our natural body, but yet not unlike our natural body that is planted and becomes the spiritual body. A lot of uncertainty there yet, but again, God is trying to explain to us in earthly terms something that is spiritual and heavenly and godly. And sometimes human terms, our human minds can't fully understand it. I invite you to come back tomorrow. We are going to wrap up chapter 15. And this is, I think, one of the best parts of, or it is the best part of chapter 15. One that we often speak at a committal service or at a funeral, pointing forward to the hope we have in the resurrection. I hope you join me for that. God bless, and we'll see you then.